going to make a slow stitch fabric book. So if you're brand new to our channel, my name is Caterina. My friends call me Kat, and I am a professional mixed media artist, and I have a gallery here in Fort Collins. Actually, I'm represented by a gallery here in Fort Collins. It's not my gallery, but anyway. And then the guy behind the camera is my husband, Digison, and he does all the videography, and he puts it on YouTube and does all that stuff for us. Hiya. So yeah, he has to say hiya. There you go. So there you have it. And today we're going to make this little stitched book. It's actually, in fact, if you didn't see the last video, you need to get on there and take a look, because we're going to be stitching this up into a book today. So if you haven't seen that video, we took strips of cloth. This was actually a tea, what was it? It was a tea cloth. Can't figure out, oh, there's a middle piece too that's wider, that I just cut into 3 pieces. And then I just started printing on them. And I thought, wow, this would be so fun to create a book using these. So I thought we would make a concertina book. And this was the first one I made, so the print is a little bit lighter than this one. I think this is really highly graphic and has a lot of smudges in it that I think are really cool. So I was thinking I would use this as the cover of my book, and I would use this as the signatures. So we're going to cut this in half, and that will give us a signature each to go into our folds. And I think someone in our group asked me about making signatures for the book, and I think that was Carol. We asked all of our people in our Facebook group what kinds of things they wanted to hear me talk about today, and I know signatures was one of those things. So I did do a little bit of stitching earlier. I did a tiny little stitch here, which I really like, and then I started covering up some of the paint that kind of globbed on there, and I was thinking I would do yellow stitches on the outsides of the leaves. So I was thinking I would do stitching in the leaves and outside and all over. So if you're going to do the leaf prints and you want to make this book or something similar to it, then you are going to need 2 prints, and they should be long enough to make an accordion book or concertina if you prefer. I like concertina better. Some people call it an accordion book. So now I have 1 signature here and 1 here, and then I'm going to fold it. Also, it will be, you could do it either way. You know, you could fold it this way, or you could do it this way. It doesn't matter which way you do it, but you know, whatever you want, whichever way you want. So I have 2 signatures now. Here is my book, my accordion or my concertina book. I'm going to put 1 signature here and stitch it into this fold there, and this one I am going to put in the back one here, and I'm going to stitch this in here. So I'll be stitching into this seam here, and I'll be stitching into this seam here, and we will have our accordion or our concertina book, I'm sorry, all set and ready to go to be stitched. So so we asked our Facebook group what questions they wanted us to answer, and Don, you didn't get any questions, which totally surprised me. I don't know why you didn't get any questions, but you didn't. But our group expert, Janice, asked what my favorite Mary Oliver poem was, and that, Janice, is Don't Hesitate. That's my favorite one. I love that poem. I think it's fabulous. And so if you like Mary Oliver, which I absolutely love Mary Oliver, then go and read her poem. I love her. I love that she finds joy to be such a perfect thing and so necessary for us. So now these stitches you can do You can do embroidery stitches. You can just do plain stitches like I'm doing right here. You can do it any way you want to do it. I'm really not a stitcher, to be honest. I can do straight stitches and a few other stitches, but nothing really special. I'm not really an embroiderer. I have done embroidery, but it was many, many years ago. Don will tell you that, right? Many years ago, and it was nice. I found it was so structured though, and I really, you know me, I'm not big on rules, so I like just doing what I want to do and creating what I want to create. So this is going to be just like this. So that'll be fantastic. Now, if you have small pages like this, you can make a signature with them by using a tab. And so you would have a small piece of fabric like this that you could stitch on this side and you could stitch on that side and then create a signature to go into your book. So don't fret if you just have pages. You can do a tab, so that would be absolutely perfect. Okay, so I am just finishing this one up, and I just wanted to give it a nice little knot here on the end to keep it from coming out. Now, threads and needles. Don reminded me that I have to do threads and needles. So you can use any kind of thread. You can use threads, you can use embroidery floss, you can use any kind of threads that you have. You can even use dyed threads, which I thought would be yummy. And I always do my needles ahead of time. And now I have rescue needles. So people always ask me, what needle are you using? Well, I don't know. It's just a needle that I found at an estate sale, okay? I didn't really pay any attention to it. Some of the bigger ones are obviously embroidery needles, but it doesn't really matter. Whatever you have, you know, all these rules and things are just designed to keep you from doing anything. So just play with it.
Pull your pin cushion into the shot. Let's take a look.
Okay. So, and you know, I like to do all my threads ahead of time. It creates kind of a little mess, but I don't mind it. I like having all of them done so that I can just take one, pick one up and put another one down and just, you know, be able to just keep sewing. I don't want to have to stop and thread the needle and decide what color. But if you do, that's fine. You go ahead and do that. So, but it's my just, I don't know if it's lazy or what it is, but anyway, that's the way I like to do it.
Organization.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to stitch this signature in here. I'm going to do it the same way I did this one, just a little straight stitch, and then we'll be done with that, and we'll start doing some slow stitching. Okay. So here's our little book. We've got the signatures into the concertina, and there it is right there. So now someone asked me, I think it was Mattis B, asked me about layering. Now, if you have solid pages like this, you could cut them out and then add them to, you know, the back side, and then, or even stitch it in there just like that. But you could layer it by cutting all this out and then putting it onto your book and stitching it in. Now remember, the stitches are going to show through on the other side, so you'd have to be really careful about how you did it, you know, or do something. You could glue it in if you wanted to. That would be fine too. But anyway, you could layer it like that. Okay, so we're going to get started with doing some stitching on here. And now I have to decide on my thread. So Sherry asked me, where do I get all my old materials? And so I love estate sales, antique shows, garage sales, all those kinds of things. I just also love thrift stores, and I love just hunting for them. But People also send me things. I have to say, I had some wonderful lace. In fact, I think I have it here that someone sent me. It's just gorgeous, and I've been using them in different pieces, different things. I thought they would be pretty in here too. So people send me things. I go to all kinds of stores, Goodwill, we thrift, we go to flea markets, those kinds of places. And it's just wonderful, the things that you can find. And you know me, I love to recycle and do, you know, and create good with things that are old and that other people aren't interested in, which I find so fascinating.
You also buy on eBay.
Yeah, I do buy on eBay. You're right. I often buy on eBay. It just depends on, you know, what I see. So, but I do like doing that. That's pretty fun. So I'm just doing, I don't know what this is called, maybe a back stitch here to just kind of create some definition in this leaf. And just, you know, letting my needle have wander, because that's what slow stitching is about. And just love doing it. So we want to thank you for supporting our channel. There are so many ways you can do that. You could go on my site, and there is a shop tab and gallery tabs, and you could purchase a piece of work. You could also you can also use our Amazon links, which we so appreciate. You could use our donation button, and what's that new thing called with the heart and the...
I don't know.
He doesn't know the name of it.
The PayPal's.
Oh, the PayPal, our PayPal donation. We appreciate that. You know, we appreciate everything that you do for us. We appreciate all your thumbs up, your likes, your shares, your comments, all of those things. We so appreciate it. What did I forget?
I don't know. Keeps you in art supplies, though.
It does, I know. Thankfully, that's wonderful. So anyway, we appreciate all of that. So thank you so much. I'm looking for another question too. Let's see. Oh, and then Sherry also asked if I did my art daily. Oh my gosh, Sherry. I try to. We're pretty busy people. We have lots of things going on now that we've moved back home. But yes, I try to be in every afternoon. I do a pretty good job. But yeah, and now that I'm going to have a new show coming up here in November 1st. At least that's the plan right now. If I get all my work done, then that would be great. So yes, I try to get in and work every single afternoon. Mornings are busy for us. You know, we like to have our breakfast together, and then I usually go out and do my exercise, and you know, so we're kind of busy in the mornings, and then you know, I give as much studio time in the afternoon as I can, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how I do it. So as you can see, I'm just kind of weaving stitches in between each other. I like doing slow stitching like that, and trying to stay in the same direction just to create a bit of color in this area so that it will be yellow. I think you can probably see that. I loved the way it looked here, and thought I would do it again because I thought it would be, you know, kind of bright enough for you guys to see what I was doing. And then I'll just go back the other way like that. So I've been adding some stitches here, and one of the things that you have to remember is that you have the back side too. So whatever you're going to be stitching, it's going to come through the back. Now I think what I will do is cut this out and put it on here, and add layers. And I think I can do that just by cutting it and then just doing some stitching on the edges. So so I think that that's how I'm going to hide that. But you could also just use your back stitches. I love looking at the back stitches. I think they're even cooler than the front side, to be honest. You know, this is like creating something, and this is something that hasn't been created, but it has. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's created out of serendipity. It's created out of coincidence, and sometimes it's even more beautiful than the front side. So you just have to play with it, just enjoy it, just have fun with your stitches, and just, you know, make your book your own and put whatever colors you want and whatever stitches you want into it. One of the things I wanted to do was just add a little bit more green to it, and so that's what I'm doing right now. So okay, so we thought it would be good if I showed you how I was going to do this. You can just make a little selvage edge along your leaf, and then you'll have a place to stitch, and to put it into your book. And I'm just going to do just kind of roughly around here. And then I'll just show you where we're going to put this. Okay. Now I said you could glue it in, but just remember, if you glue it into your book, this would be on the back of this. So I would probably put it something like this, and then do little stitches around the edge, which, you know, I have a light color I can use. And then you have to pay attention to where you're going to go. Now I would suggest using very fine thread. This is a single thread here to do this. And I would like the edges to be frayed. I think that frayed edges will be wonderful for this book. So I'm just going to stitch alongside, and then depending on you know, where your other stitches would be. Now obviously I would have finished this, but since we're doing a video, I wanted to share with you what I was going to do. And you know, you can do it any way you want to do it. You don't have to do it my way. But what you could do is do it like this. Now you have this in here. Now you know where it's going to be, right? Then you can just put your thread, put your needle here to leave it there, and then you can turn around and do your other stitching here. So working 2 needles, I sometimes work 3 needles on a project if I want to. So, and that's how you would do it. And it will add another lovely dimension to your book, I think. What do you think?
I like it.
You like it? Good. I think it's going to be really pretty. Well, we're at Ciao for now. I really enjoyed stitching with you today. I hope you were stitching with me too. But if not, I hope you'll get to it. And I hope you do the leaf prints, because they were super fun, and you get to use an old tea towel to do it. And what's better than that, right? Recycling everything. So anyway, I really enjoyed this. I think it's going to look really yummy when I'm done with it. I think it's just going to be so fun and so cool. So I do have a tip for you though. When you do the tea towel, you might want to use a fabric starch or some kind of a starch. Iron it out so that it's nice and stiff when you're working on it. It'll be so much easier to stitch. Hey, Don wanted me to mention what would you like to see in the next video. So we'd love to hear your comments. So thanks so much. And we appreciate everything that you do for us. So ciao for now.